All of the visitors are going to swell. We are dissecting what they intend to discuss, what they might unveil, and where it will take us. In the first section, we drew connections between governments, global asset managers, and trillion-dollar banks, all of whom were convergent around XRP and Ripple. This is the problem, though, because that was only the setup. The next step seems to be the execution stage. We're talking about the regulators who make the regulations, the banks who manage the money flow, and the exchanges that manage liquidity, all showing up at the same location, at the same time, with the same goal. The switch is flicked in part 2 if part 1 depicted the players assembling. So, fasten your seatbelts because what I'm about to convey to you from these following speakers may be a reference to the previous banking system. Oh, and the emergence of something quite different. With the cryptocurrency funds on the front line, let's continue exactly where we left off. Hunter Horsley will be our first. He is Bitwise Asset Management's CEO. Bitwise has unobtrusively emerged as the institutional link between cryptocurrency and traditional finance. They have already overseen Ethereum and Bitcoin spot ETFs. But what do you know? XRP has never been considered. So far. Yes, exactly. Imagine this. Hunter. He unveils the first tokenized multi-asset fund in history, which uses the XRP ledger's settlement architecture. Funds move over on the XRP ledger, which makes trades instantaneous, transparent, and programmable, as opposed to clearing them through outdated systems. Folks, that's not simply efficiency. Control is that. And who's in charge of the rails? They will be in charge of capital flow in the future. Take a moment to process that. In a post-Swift future powered by XRP and liquidity, Bitwise may present itself as the pioneer, but they bring the product. Who distributes them to the public? That's easy because that's where Robinhood's institutional crypto vice president Nicole White is located. They enter the room from there. Millions of retail traders have already joined Robinhood, but its institutional arm is preparing for a blockchain-based payments revolution behind the scenes. What would happen then if Nicola White declared that Robinhood will be integrating RippleNet for its settlement layer and for liquidity? This implies that XRP has the potential to become the unseen force that transfers money between counterparties immediately and around the clock. This is where it becomes more complex, though. Through their collaboration with market makers, Robinhood may be able to covertly serve as banks' liquidity nodes via XRP rails. XRP powers every transaction behind the scenes, but you won't ever see it on the front end. The system turns in that way without anyone noticing. Let's say my email is successful. We are aware that we send emails. However, we don't give a damn about what goes on behind the scenes. That's the way XRP would function. When you send money, you can be sure it will arrive in a matter of seconds. Then you pay almost nothing for it. That's its strength. Speaking of cunning maneuvers, the JP Morgan will be revealed as a result of this. Yes, exactly. Scott Lucas is the head of JP Morgan's digital asset markets. Currently, this is America's largest bank. Their attendance at the Ripple gathering, that is enormous. That alone speaks for itself. We are aware that they own the JP Morgan currency in public. In secret, they are researching the operation of all ledgers, including the XRP ledger. Imagine Scott now announcing that JP Morgan will incorporate an interoperable settlement between the XRP ledger, which connects private and public networks for global liquidity, and Onyx, their internal blockchain. In such case, XRP would serve as the glue holding a new system together and the bridge asset connecting the institutional blockchains. It's time for a little tinfoil hat. Perhaps JP Morgan and Ripple. I take it that they have a number of past CEOs in common? Include connections via Project Guardian Innovations and the Digital Pound. Here, I believe the writing is on the wall. Someone needs to rate the risk if the banks are involved, don't they? Someone has to rate the danger for us. Everyone. That's where Moody comes in. They're where? My man, Rory. I take it that Moody's doesn't influence markets? They're not supposed to do that. They are responsible for defining them. Imagine XRP being listed as one among the compliant settlement-grade ledgers in a new digital asset risk framework that is unveiled by Calgary or Rory. It isn't hype. We refer to that as reclassification. The XRP ledger can be lawfully allocated to by insurance companies, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and ratings agencies such as Moody's once they have validated it as a low-risk infrastructure. This is what everyone has been waiting for, your regulatory domino. And the institutions that were already in line in Part 1 will move right away if this occurs. The next item is ready to go. The asset custodians that manage such funds, such as State Street, will also be present, correct? We'll call him Sam Daycat or Sam Tencat. He is State Street's managing director and head of digital strategy. The third biggest asset manager in the world is State Street. Sam is in charge of the digital strategy division, and they are all about tokenized funds. State Street Digital Connect, a tokenized investment platform that integrates directly with RippleNet for real-time settlements, is likely to be unveiled by him. Consider it. ETFs, hedge funds, mutual funds, and redemptions are all passing through the liquidity engine of the XRP ledger. We are discussing billions of settlements every day that are carried out on an XRP-powered network. State Street will be followed by all of the important custodians. And because Asia's largest digital asset bank is the next big thing, Ripple's reach expands worldwide. Do you know who we're referring to? We are discussing DBS. This is the jewel in Singapore's crown. For tokenized assets, they already have an active digital asset platform. Eve, I believe it to be Eve. Evie, I believe it to be Evie. We'll choose Evie. She might declare the establishment of the Asia-Pacific RippleNet corridor, which would use settlement rails based on XRP to connect Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, and Australia. As a result, XRP would essentially become the Eastern financial sphere's bridge currency. Consider it SWIFT's Asian counterpart, but with a local blockchain. True East-West interoperability can be achieved in this way. Furthermore, Asia and the US cannot remain far behind if they have both connected to, say, Europe. Additionally, there is a Brussels resident who just so happens to be in the lineup. And who are we discussing? Bill, my man. Kyler Bill. He is also making an appearance and is a huge political signal. He is a European Parliament member. He is likely to discuss the MiCA 2.0 framework. The subsequent development of digital asset laws in Europe. What if he verifies that the XRP ledger satisfies every need for a settlement and tokenization service that is available throughout the EU? As soon as the legislation takes effect, all European banks would be able to use Ripple's infrastructure lawfully. Recall that Christine Lagarde discussed delaying their text-in phase and rollout until 2027. For that, they will require an interoperable asset or settlement asset. Correct? The EU would essentially give Ripple a regulatory monopoly if all of this materialized. In the background, Europe may be preparing XRP to serve as a neutral settlement layer and the foundation of a digital euro network that will be implemented in 2027, which is only 15 months away. And in order for that to happen safely, the regulators on the ground will need to cooperate. Thus, we arrive at New York. Yes, exactly. John Melican is the subject at hand. John, where is my man? He's in here. Right there, and I know it. He is the New York Department of Financial Services Deputy Superintendent for Limited Purpose Trusts. The rules governing institutional crypto in the United States are drafted by the New York DFS. Ripple will receive its final approval if John utilizes Swell to unveil a new trust charter pathway for settlement providers based on XRP. He might imply that the XRP ledger complies with U.S. law since it has met the department's due diligence requirements for both custody and payments. We need to get rid of that last obstacle. Leave your comments below. Please hit the like button and sign up for my free newsletter. The link is below. Ahead of November 4th and 5th, prepare for Swell.